So one of the points that I've made a number of times on this show is that Nick Fuentes reminds me of Jimmy Dore circa like 2018. Because Jimmy Dore was basically doing the whole routine of like, I'm the purest leftist. I'm the leftiest of the leftists. And I will spend all of my time bashing the Democrats and bashing even the people in theory who are closest to me on the spectrum, like AOC, like Bernie Sanders, and basically give the Republicans just a complete and utter pass, right? And functionally, I think Jimmy acted as an op for the right. In reality, he's more of a useful idiot, but he acted like he was an op, like a literal infiltrator.
As someone who rails against the Democrats with regular frequency, including people who are closest aligned with me, people who I've like helped get elected, right? When I feel like they've done something that I consider to be like a tactical misstep. Have you ever seen me give a pass to the right? That to me, I think is the most important part of this story. Glenn Greenwald did this for the longest time too. He would shit on the Democrats, which is fine. I shit on the Democrats too. But then he would give a pass to the right, and so did Jimmy Dore. And now we know exactly where they've landed, right? I guess Glenn Greenwald is in a little bit better of a sphere now. But with Jimmy Dore, he became a reactionary. That, I think, is completely unacceptable. I do not allow people to give a pass to the right. If they're centrist Democrats, I cook them. If they're right-wingers, I cook them all the same.
From the right to undermine left-wing movements and the Democrats more broadly, right? And Nick Fuentes does the exact same thing. He mirrors that on the other side. He mirrors that on the right. So he comes in and he says, I'm the most right-wing of the right-wingers. I'm the most pure of the right-wingers. I'm the most far right of the right-wingers. And I declare that the Republicans are the biggest enemy and that Donald Trump is not right-wing enough. And so I'm going to beat up on Trump. I'm going to beat up on Vance. I'm going to beat up on the Republicans 24/7 and make you feel disaffected and disenfranchised and try to get you to not support Republicans and barely, if ever, hardly lay a glove on Democrats in the same way that Jimmy Dore hardly ever laid a glove on Republicans in like 2018. Now, the jig is up with Jimmy. He's out of the closet. The shine has worn off now and people know he just leans right. He's like a right-leaning conspiracy guy now, right? But there was a time where people would argue, like, no, he actually is the most left-wing.
Oh my God. It was unbearable. And it's always the same people. The people who are like bad empanada stands that come in here and are unstoppable wreckers were the exact same people. They were the Jimmy Dore stands back then. Oh my God. Yeah, forced to vote disclosure, discourse. Everyone coming in here to be like, Hassan, you have betrayed the revolutionary cause, unlike my king, Jimmy Dore. Forced to vote, forced to vote, forced to vote. You are just dick eating, AOC, forced to vote, forced to vote. And now it's the bad empanada guys. It's so funny that all of those guys that said I was a fake revolutionary are all right-wing now. Every single one of those guys, with the exception of Brianna Joy Gree, obviously. I don't think bad empanada will go reactionary. No, I don't think he will either. I think he's not going to turn right-wing. He's just the ultra. I don't really care to talk about bad empanada.
So Nick Fuentes is doing the mirror image of that. He's the purest of the right-wingers, and he's here to say the other right-wingers are not right-wing enough, and therefore abandon politics. Or, waste your vote on this dumbass right-wing party that's going to get 7 votes in total and, siphon your votes away from the actual right-wing party that has a chance, which is the Republicans. That's what he's doing here, right? So here's Asmongold, who's also another giant content creator on the right. And they're going to go full nihilism mode here. They're going to go full, politics, voting, Trump, like it's all a waste of time. And I love this because of the implications of this. But let's take a look and then we'll break it down. Here we go.
Go f yourself. You told us when we wanted the Epstein files, we don't need your votes anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, wish granted. Remember that?
Sure.
Remember in July of 2025 when Trump said, if you want the Epstein files, you're not a real supporter. I don't want your vote. Hey, wish granted, pal. Wish granted. You wanted it. You got it. F you. You want to get it back on track? Good luck. Paul Netanyahu. That's the part that I love.
TikTok algorithm.
They sell us out. H-1B visas galore.
See?
Student visas galore. No mass deportations.
See, the thing Nick is advocating for that I agree with is that you should not accept to be slowly boiled. You should say that if you're going to boil me, let's just get it over with. Let's get it over with. And if you're willing to do that, then maybe something will change. And so that's it.
It's so funny. He just has no personal opinion of his own. He's just literally responding to whatever Nick Fuentes says and goes, yeah, based. and then we'll turn around and respond to whatever Trump is saying and goes, yeah, based. That's it.
No, and here's the thing: is that he just like JD Vance? He's not right. Well, I'm saying that like this is really the issue, right? There's such an L take. I don't think so. And let me explain. This is really the reason why setting people on fire, accelerationism, exactly. And so, really, if you let the people that like, let's say you have like basically. I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. Let me finish the clip and I'll talk about it.
Hey guys, we need your help. You know, President Trump needs more seats to keep the agenda going.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say about that? You're worried about your majority in 2026. You're worried about losing the House. Why don't you ask Bill Clinton for his vote then? Ask Bill Clinton. Ask those 600,000 Chinese students. Ask the H-1B workers. Ask the Israelis. Ask Netanyahu for a vote. You gave Netanyahu $20 billion. Ask him to vote for you. You gave Wall Street the corporate tax cut extension. Why don't you ask them for the vote? You know, ask them. Go and bother them with your campaign ads. Don't bother us, because we still have illegal immigrants in our cities. We still have rampant crime in our cities. The job market still sucks. We're not richer. Our purchasing power has not increased. Go ask somebody else, because we are not interested. We do want to burn it all down. Correct.
So you see what he's doing? What he's doing is divide and conquer on the right. What he's doing is, well, what's even the point of voting for Trump? I mean, we didn't get everything we want, so even if you're a hardcore right-winger like I am, like, don't waste your time with him. Now, by the way, I love this because the impact...
Bro's the bad empanada of Nazism, dude. Respect. He's literally doing... He's the ultra. He's the ultra for the right, which, once again, I love that shit. You know, give it to me. Inject it directly into my veins, right? Now, of course, the way that the right wing works, unfortunately, they love their ultras. They will hug and kiss their ultras, and they will try to lean into their ultras, right? The problem with Nick Fuentes in general, though, is that he's difficult to pin down, and by that I mean he's just like a charlatan. Like he changes his attitude on a daily basis. On the one hand, he wants to be an endless contrarian. That's where his bread is buttered. He knows if he says like increasingly insane shit, he's going to get more prominence, at least in the circles that he wants to get attention from. But also on the other hand, he kind of wants to be a part of this larger movement. He wants to be the regime's guy. So that's the reason why you constantly see him flip-flop on these positions over and over again. One day he'll talk about how he hates the Jews and Israel. The next day, he will beg Benjamin Netanyahu to assassinate me, and how we'll go and kiss the wall if Benjamin Netanyahu assassinated me. One day, he'll say he likes the Super Bowl halftime performance. The next day, he'll be like, it was still, too Hispanic for my taste. Sometimes he'll say it in the same sentence. He doesn't have like a decipherable worldview, because he's more so an opportunist, and so is Asmongold. But their goal, I think, is to capture the attention of as many people as possible, rather than... as many people on the right, at least, as possible, rather than move this country in the direction of whatever kind of like discernible vision that they have, a political project that they have. Asmongold certainly doesn't have that.
Fact is, take all the groypers, take all the far right wingers, take all the white nationalist types, and tell them, hey, politics is stupid. Don't even bother. Don't vote for Republicans at all. And sometimes he even flirts with, if anything, voting for a Democrat is better. And sometimes he even flirts with that position, right? But I love this because he's telling this massive audience of right-wingers who are very politically engaged and involved, like, definitely don't support Republicans, which, again, to me is hilarious because the argument is, hey, they're not right-wing enough. They're not fascist enough. They're not anti-immigration enough. And I mean this sincerely. What the else would ICE have to do? Like, how can they get further right on immigration? Mass murdering literally everybody they arrest? Because right now, they're doing mass kidnappings, they're doing abductions, they're doing human traffickings. There's no due process. They got rid of that shit right away. There's over 4,000 people literally missing because of ICE. Many of them missing from Alligator Alcatraz. Remember that? There's about 40 people who've died in ICE custody, including a guy who may have been lynched. There was evidence he was lynched. At these ICE facilities, there's accusations they do slavery. Literal criminals are joining ICE. They're assaulting 84-year-old liberals. They're shooting a priest in the face with pepper balls. They're tear-gassing babies, running over people with cars, tear-gassing journalists and cops. They're zip-tying naked kids. They're deporting 4-year-old American citizens because they're brown, okay? They're raiding 7-Elevens and meatpacking facilities. Like, what else would they have to do for you to go, you know what, that's right-wing enough? Like, I genuinely mean it. Like, they just have to mass assassinate everybody? Mass execute everybody? Like, fire?
Yes. Yeah, no, that. I mean, even then, he would probably find a way to say it's not good enough because he's, like I said, he's rudderless, right? Like, if Nick Fuentes was my diametrical opposite, if Nick Fuentes is right-wing Hassan, outside of the periphery of the party, but trying to actively change the way the party behaves on the Republican side, he would be a major advocate for Donald Trump. He would be talking about, like, guys, politics is the art of the possible. We want to do Holocaust. We'll get Holocaust light. And, you know, as much as I want Holocaust, full Holocaust to happen, Holocaust light is also just fine, right? Because, like, if he was operating in a similar way, because I have a political vision, right? I have a political vision. I have an agenda. I have a world that I want to move in the direction of. And in that world, it's like, I want a nationalized healthcare system. I want socialism. But in the direction of socialism, if I get like modest social democratic gains, I'm not going to cast that aside. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh, we're not moving in the right direction here. The expansion of social safety nets is simply a continuation of capitalism. I'm not going to say that at all. Nick Fuentes, on the other hand, on the right, is doing that, where he's like, I want full Holocaust. You're only giving me like, you know, a fraction of the Holocaust I wanted. By the way, notice how his vision that we are trying to identify is the Holocaust, and mine is, you know, socialism, socialized medicine, jobs guarantee, people no longer being victim to exploitation, people getting all of their output back, or at least having some sort of democratic organization around the means of production and simultaneously, like, all the productive forces that they contribute to, they get to have a say in how that's dished out. And his is just murdering people. You know, that's for all the centrists who think these are the same. You know, they're not really. There's a pretty big difference there, but that's besides the point.
Up the gas chambers immediately in order for him to say, okay, I think that's right-wing enough. I don't know the answer. It's so crazy to me that this can resonate with anybody, that like, oh, Trump is not fascist enough. Like, this is the most fascist shit we've ever seen in our lifetimes. And it's like, nope, not enough. Okay. But again, I love the impact of this, because what it does is it makes these people disengage. It makes them not vote. It makes them not actually get involved in politics. And that's good. Every right-winger, every fascist, yes, go take up a different hobby. Go get interested in pogs or yo-yos or Pokemon or anime or comic books or whatever the fuck you want. Just not this. Not this. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Asmongold. We appreciate this shit.
You don't want our vote? Wish granted.
Well, I can't speak for Nick Fuentes' audience, but Asmongold's audience can't vote because they're not American. They're just annoying.
You're not getting it this time.
I think that there's a lot of young men and young people in America that are sick of a managed decline. That is what Nick is talking about.
By the way, how would, if Trump was more right-wing and was more fascist, which is what both of these guys want, how would that fix the managed decline? It would only speed up the decline. And by the way, Asmongold goes on in this clip at the end to say, he didn't even...
That's why I always say, like, right-wingers are the true right-wingers are the true first world genocide, unlimited first world genocide party in this country. If you are from the third world and you understandably have developed resentment towards American empire, that our neighbors have come to your neighborhood and killed your family members, and you vow revenge against the United States of America, and you say, hey, America deserves all the death and destruction, you should be boosting Republicans every day. That's it. Because there is no better terrorist entity that will inevitably yield the complete and utter death and destruction of the American empire than the Republican Party. Now, the problem from my calculation is, well, one, I don't want like random Americans to succumb to this. And two, I understand that death is not going to come quiet, and it will be a lingering sequence of ultra violence that America dishes out to all of the countries in the periphery, as we are seeing right now, whether it be Venezuela, whether it be Cuba, whether it be Gaza. This is all a part of the grand design that America has. But the reality of the matter is, if you are vindictive, if you are vowing vengeance, if you want to terrorize America, vote Republican. Republicans are the greatest terrorists that the American government has ever seen. That's it. And it's ironic that if you were to ask the average American Do you think someone like myself, who's called a communist all the time, socialist communist, Hamas defender, Hassan Hamasabi Piker, who is a bigger threat to America? Someone like me or someone like Donald Trump or the average Republican politician? They would probably say someone like me, because most people are deluded into thinking that Republicans are just a normal part of the duopoly and not a real, ever-present domestic terror threat. They don't understand it.
Do regime change in Iran. Which, by the way, Fuentes has the opposite position on that. He doesn't want the regime change in Iran, but obviously Asmongold does. But the point is, hey, right-wingers, you're getting your way right now. But if you got your way anymore, we would just further be plunged into irrelevance and the destruction of the U.S. empire and the next Great Depression. Like, how do you not see that? The way to actually fix this country is to arrest the Epstein class, the corrupt billionaires, lock them all up, tax billionaires out of existence, take that money and redistribute it and make it so everybody has health care, everybody has education, raise the minimum wage, let everybody join a union, right? This is how you fix this country. Medicare for all, free college, living wage, ending the wars, Green New Deal, right? End the corruption completely. Arrest the Epstein class. This is what you do. Give people freedom. Actually give people freedom. Like, stop with gay people, stop with trans people, be pro-immigrant because it's actually good for the country. We are literally a nation of immigrants, and this country is way better off.
Both of you. There's still a guy who's like, nah, both you and Nick Fuentes are bad for this country. It says hairy legs. True. It would be devastating if you had free college. It would be devastating if you had social housing. It would be terrible if you could have free healthcare. If you look at two different, diametrically opposite ideologies, where on the one hand, someone is saying, we have enough wealth here that we could spend it on ourselves, okay? And then on the other side, the other person is saying, America needs to forcibly excise all non-whites from its national boundaries. And, you know, even though he doesn't fully fit that bill himself, he wants to do it regardless. He's a white nationalist. And you look at that and go, I'm in the reasonable center here. I've realized that both of these ideologies are equally devastating. The only thing you're revealing to everyone, at least in this community, is that you're a moron. Okay? That's it.
With immigrants? So that's how you would actually fix the country and stop the managed decline. But what they're saying is, no, we need a faster decline. I know Trump already bombed like 7 countries. He should bomb 14. This is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. I know he's already, rounding up a bunch of people and sending them to concentration camps. He needs to send more of them and fire up the gas chambers. This is the argument, right? These people, man, they are gonzo. They are gonzo. At least when Jimmy Dore did his, like, I'm holier than thou shtick, I'm purer than all the other lefties, at least he was actually saying, like, hey, you guys don't fight hard enough for Medicare for all, right? This is like, no, I need gas chambers now. Where are the gas chambers?
And I think that he's completely right about this. They are sick and tired of being told that they need to accept and they need to tolerate a managed decline whenever, a bunch of Chinese students are coming into America and going to universities.
Yeah, no, we got to stop the Chinese students from coming into the country. So literally everyone is stupid. Let's not have our R&D carried by brain drain Chinese students that are coming in that have the capability to advance American research, that also literally fund the institutes of higher learning, by the way, because they pay like double the price. But remember when Donald Trump was like, yeah, I think we should keep the Chinese students, actually. And then Laura Ingraham was like, what do you mean? But they're Chinese. They're not French. And he was like, are you going to pay double the price for tuition? China, love talking about this, as you guys know, graduated 7 million STEM graduates last year. 7 million. They graduated 3.5 million in engineering alone. Just the E of STEM. America graduated 350,000 engineering graduates last year. Go ahead. Keep talking shit. Keep saying, oh, fuck the Chinese. We can't let these guys come into the United States of America.
The Chinese students are the decline of America. Are you kidding me? What he's about to find out is we're having brain drain like we've never had it before because of Trump's cracking down on immigration, because of the saying, F you, the best and the brightest. What's going to happen now is you're going to get your way, bitch. There's going to be not many people from overseas coming into this country, and medical research in this country is going to take a massive hit. Scientific research is going to take a massive hit. We're not going to get the inevitable patents on the new drugs that cure diseases, all because your dipshit ass is xenophobic and bigoted. So congratulations, you're going to get your way. And the result is going to be we're all going to be worse off for it, you dumb bitch.
Meanwhile, American students are being sent to trade
This is why I said, if you want death to America, you become a Republican. That's it. That's it. There is no clearer death to America message than voting for the Republican Party.
schools and McDonald's. This seems a little bit unfair. And
First of all, trade school and McDonald's, there's big differences there, right? McDonald's is like a minimum wage job, which, by the way, no disrespect to those people. They should get paid more. But trade school that's legitimate. Studying to become an electrician, studying to become a plumber. This part of the problem is this is a snotty, elitist attitude. Looking down on somebody who goes to trade school, that's one of the few remaining ways to earn an honest living in this country. And you're going to sneer at them and be disrespectful to them?
so really, oh wow, we're doing mass deportations. Not enough. Not enough. Why did you let these animals in Minnesota run wild for over a month?
The animals are the ICE Gestapo, you unshowered fuck. They're the motherfucking degenerates who are going around busting people up, shooting them in the face, ripping families apart, not even destroying the Constitution and not abiding by the Constitution because they're not, they don't have the warrants they need to go into these houses that they're illegally going into. I can't believe he has the nerve to say this. The animals in Minnesota are not the Minnesotans. The animals in Minnesota are not the immigrants. They're the good guys. The bad guys are the ones covering their faces like little bitches as they do a terror spree and they illegally occupy the entire city. F this guy, man. This guy.
Damage the public goodwill, get 2 Americans killed just because you were afraid of enacting the actual law. People voted on you to apply the law. Did you apply the law?
They're breaking the law on a daily basis. We've never seen a crime spree like the ICE Gestapo thugs have done. But he defines whatever they do as the law. And whatever the immigrant...
It's not even just the ICE Gestapo crime spree, but it's like just a naked corruption from this administration is also pretty crazy.
do as evil and bad and wrong because he's an idiot. He's a dipshit. He's an authoritarian. He's a bootlicker. He loves the jackbooted thugs because they're not at his motherfucking door. But be careful what you wish for, son, because you open the door to authoritarianism, there's going to come a time when your people are not in charge. And maybe they'll be knocking on your door. Now, won't they?
Oh, that'd be
and it's
so
going to be at
sick.
that time that you'll realize, oh, civil liberties, that's actually important. It's actually good to have constitutional rights. Rights. Jesus Christ. We don't need to watch the rest of it, but you get the gist of it. I shouldn't even be yelling at them right now because at the end of the day, they're helping us. They're helping us. They're telling all the right-wingers, all the young right-wingers, hey, stay home.
Hello.
Hey, don't vote. Hey, don't even be involved politically.
Hello.
I agree. Every right-winger in this country, stay home, don't do shit,
Hello.
sit on the couch, eat some potato chips, watch TV, pop on Netflix, whatever you got to do, bro. Whatever you got to do. Go get a job doing something somewhere. Like, I hope you have an all right life. I hope you get your bills paid for and all that stuff. I hope, everything's fruitful from now until forever for you. But, yes, bitch, stay home. We don't need you to vote. We don't need your thoughts on anything. You can disenfranchise yourself, okay? Because, yes, you're the problem. You are the problem. If you can look at this landscape in this country right now, and your conclusion is, Trump's not far right enough. There's this thing called Thorazine. You should look into it.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big.
Nice. Who's gonna tell him about Asmon's demo? I will. I like him cooking Asmongold though, but I feel like if he finds out that most of his chat is just European, he's gonna stop covering him and he's gonna stop cooking him.